Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Jack. I upload daily content based around video editing, videography, how to make money making videos. Subscribe now if any of those topics tickle your fancy. Today we're kicking it off with a special one, a topical one, and this is going to be interesting. Honestly, who knows if there's a single other video like this on YouTube? Probably, but I'm just going to be tackling an interesting take on the freelance videography community. This video is going to be how to gain skills as a freelance videographer, and I'm going to break down something that in retrospect was very apparent and something that happened in retrospect, but not something that I was totally conscious of, but something that definitely helped me, whether I was conscious of it or not, right? And definitely helped other people as well. It was like a trade-off essentially. So I'm gonna break this down to you guys today in hopes that potentially you could actually consciously go about this, because I think that if this helped me in retrospect without even being conscious of the trade-off, which I'm gonna get to in a second, sorry if I'm alluding to something that you don't understand yet, but if you go about this consciously, it could even be more powerful. But either way, we're gonna break it down, but this is how to gain skills as a freelance videographer. Now, to just backtrack a little bit, this is something that had a huge impact on me, and it's in something that I've noticed in retrospect. But it's something that, like I just said, if consciously done, it could have an even bigger impact. Now, the whole point of this is, or the whole concept here is joining forces with someone who has a different skill to you and trading skills. And this is something that I have actually done numerous times. Like I said, all in retrospect. But I think going forward in the future, if I see a possibility to do this consciously, I 100% will. And it'll continue to help me out just like it has. And what this is actually trading skills. Now I'm gonna break this down to you, right? When I was 18 years old, I've been shooting music videos for rappers for a little bit of time, right? Like maybe a year or something like that since I was 17. And I'd shot a bunch of videos, wasn't really getting paid for any of this type of stuff. I would shoot music videos and bars videos for rappers, and it was like a trade. I would pop up on them and shoot them a video, and they would let me upload the video to my channel, and we built up this whole channel, and that's kind of how I started the kind of foundation of my production company, TQ9, which actually started as something called TQ9 TV, which was like a SBB type of World Star Hip Hop type of like community rap channel, right? And I started that, and I turned 18. I was getting a little bit bored of doing the rapper music videos and stuff like that, and I wanted to shoot videos for nightclubs. Now, I've been shooting all those rapper videos with my homie Noah, who owned a camera and everything like that, and I would get all the bookings. He would essentially have the camera and everything, right? And there was a couple others involved as well, right? Now, when I went to shoot the clubs, I still didn't own a camera, right? So what essentially I did, which was a trade with Noah, which was all in retrospect, is that me and Noah joined forces for this, and we would split the money down the middle for every single club that we would go to film. And the reason this was a split down the middle essentially was because we both brought a different piece to the table, right? We both brought a different skill set that complemented each other phenomenally. Now, he was the videographer, the more technically skilled cameraman. Really, I didn't really know that much about the cameras. I've been shooting these videos for the rappers, but again, it was all on my homie's camera, everything like that. I really didn't know that much about aperture, ISO, all these very relevant things for especially shooting in low light like a club is, right? Now, what me and Noah did is we joined up, and essentially he was the technical mind behind the whole situation. And again, this is all in retrospect. We weren't really conscious of this at the time, but what he brought to the table was the skill level in terms of the actual practical camera skills and the actual technical side. And what I brought to the table was my business mind, in the fact that I would market our skills, I would drum up business, and I would actually, bring in all the clients, you know what I mean? So he would have the camera, supply the equipment, stuff like that, and I would bring in all the clients. And what we did right there was, again, in retrospect, was we traded skills. We complemented each other. Me on my own, without a camera, I could have gotten 100 bookings, but it would have all been on the internet, and I wouldn't have been able to go fulfill the booking because I didn't own a camera. Likewise, he would have had the camera and the lens and everything like that, but really his mind didn't work like that for the bookings, therefore he wouldn't have been getting much business. And because of this little trade right here, we complemented each other massively, and we went on to do extremely well. And that year that we joined forces was 2017, and we shot 29 events together that year across so many different cities in England. It's mad. We shot in London, Plymouth, Bristol, Torquay, Exeter. Honestly, the list goes on and on. All sorts of random places, Winchester, all sorts of random places. And that year we shot 29 live events together, and it took us all over the country because we were joining forces, and we got involved in so many different things going on, and overall it was a great partnership essentially. So what I'm telling you guys right here is more or less just breaking down the story of something that is a reality for me in my freelance career that definitely helped me. I learned about aperture from Noah. I learned about ISO. Literally, it sounds stupid, right? Because any camera person knows about this type of stuff, but I'd never owned a camera before, so I didn't know about this shit, and I shot all those events with Noah for that whole year, and then I ended up buying a camera at the end of that year based on the money we'd made from that year, and now I own my own camera. You know what I mean? So that was 2 years removed now, obviously, but absolutely smashed it. And our trade-off of skills, which wasn't even that, conscious at the time. It literally wasn't conscious. It was just, all right, cool, I'm getting these bookings, Noah, let's go, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But if you could actually kind of just take a little bit of take the essence of this story, really, apply it to what you're doing. Maybe there's some hella super motivated kid in your area. You've got all the equipment, but you don't really know where to start with the bookings. You see this kid, you get him all involved and say, you know what, come join in. Maybe he doesn't even want to join in. Maybe you just decide, hey, all right, if you get me bookings, I give you 20% or something like that, instead of splitting it down the middle where he comes with you or whatever and you all both shoot together. Either way, there's loads of different ways to set up the situation, but I'm just trying to paint the picture to you that this is a possibility, and this is something that 100% has influenced me and helped me out. Now, also, this is something that recently has gone down a little bit more, where I've been shooting this past week or so. I've done 2 shoots with a filmmaker called Corey in my area, a couple years older than me, works with some production companies. And, we've actually done 2 shoots lately. One was up on this place called Dartmoor, this super middle of nowhere location. Such an awesome place to shoot a music video. And, that's exactly what we were shooting, kind of up on this crazy quarry with these hills and everything like that. It was an amazing location. And then on Friday, the day after that, we were shooting in a gym that was kind of hidden in the woods. It was a converted barn that had been turned into a gym. And overall, we were doing these 2 shoots. Now, these shoots right here were completely for free. I didn't get paid for any of them. Corey really not really getting paid. Potentially, there's going to be some money, which means potentially I'll get some money in a couple weeks or something. But overall, I really don't care if I get paid for these shoots at all. What this right here is Skillbuilders, straight up. This dude, Corey, he's 2 years older than me. He works with a bunch of production companies in the area, which means he has way more technical skill level than me. I'm 100% a much better video editor than I am a videographer, which means I'm really trying to learn and basically suck in as much information on the videography scene as I possibly can, so that the future me is a really great videographer, just like the current me is a really great video editor. And, that's what this was for me, is a learning experience, more or less. So, again, this sort of trade-off went down, and I'll break down how I've sort of influenced him in a positive way. He's influenced me in a positive way. Seeing how he's, interacting with the shoot and everything like that has, just off of 2 days, the past couple days, 100% been some really great experience for me. And, what he brought to the table was his technical ability, with the fact that he's involved in these production companies and he's on literally $1 million shoots and stuff like that, which is obviously much bigger than the stuff I'm involved in. I'm on much more freelance type of stuff. And, I've been able to be exposed to that sort of level. And what he's been able to do is sort of see my side of the personal branding knowledge that I have, the marketing knowledge that I have. And, the fact that, my kind of style for self-promotion and stuff is rubbed off on him in a way that, he's influencing his social media posts are changing up a little bit from that of a stereotypical, photographer, where their Instagram is just literally photographs that they've taken, which is dope and everything like that. And if it's cool photographs, people love it. But, for most people who aren't photographers, it's not very enjoyable to follow somebody who's just posting a bunch of random pictures, because you don't really care as a normal person. Most people don't, unless you're really interested in those pics. But what I've sort of influenced him to do is sort of just start creating more of a personal brand, as in, this is Corey the filmmaker, and you can now see pictures of him shooting opposed to just what's being shot, which is very much so my style on my Instagram, and plays a huge part in people even knowing what I do, you know what I mean? So that personal branding side is something that I've kind of rubbed off on him. He's rubbed off a bit on me with the actual technical ability, and actually just sort of seeing it in action. And overall, that right there is how to gain skills as a freelance videographer. In my opinion, this is a super powerful, very underrated method, and that is find somebody and partner up. I'm happy to fucking partner up. If there's a trade-off for me, I'd rather literally learn something than get paid in this situation. I'm gonna get paid, if I really want to get paid, I'll get paid at the end of the day. But I'm really trying to build up my skill level to that of have more confidence in the videography space. But that right there is how to gain skills as a freelance videographer, something that I've applied multiple times, even as recently as the past few days. Turn back on, computer, don't embarrass me in front of the people. Big up to you guys for tuning into the video. I appreciate you. And tell me down below if you're going to try this. Tell me down below if you have also, in retrospect, this is something that's played a part in your success as a freelance videographer. It's definitely played a part in my success as a freelance videographer. And overall, an awesome thing to potentially be conscious of for yourself going forward in the quest to obviously, being a videographer. Hell yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been Jack. Have a nice day. Find me on social media at ItsJackCole. I respond to every single person on Instagram. If you want to hit me up and actually talk, Instagram, by far the best place. I literally neglect every other social media in terms of messages side. Fucking not a good idea on my part, but Instagram is definitely the best spot to reach me. Hit me up there. We'll converse, and I'll help you further. Big up to you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.